And good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and here I am with my first live stream of this YouTube channel since the end of the NFL season. And here I am going to do a live stream show to do the turning back the clock between the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. And here I am also joined by Trident Podcast. I think he had a little bit of a glitch, but I could have said he didn't. But here he is.
You were correct.
How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. Excited to watch some baseball. I'll be honest, I actually don't know who wins this game. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to how it goes, to be honest. I'm assuming it's late September. Our boys probably pulled it out because I think they won everything at that stage of the season. But excited to do this.
It was well, I guess I won't tell you who won, but it is. Let me see what the game is before we jump in that time machine. And literally, I do have a time machine set up for this game. I really kind of prepared it in that unique way. Mariners versus Rangers, 1995. It was September 20th. It was very critical timing. I actually did a little bit of research for this game. So it was September 20th. Trying to look up the schedule. Got to go to the schedule. So this was the last game of the series before they played against the Oakland A's. And if they won this game, they would have complete the sweep against the Texas Rangers to inch closer to the California Angels. And the night before, Doug Strange tied the game in the bottom of the ninth inning or the eighth inning. And then Ken Griffey Jr. in extra innings scored in Doug Strange. And much more interesting timing, there was a ballot to help fund the stadium for the future T-Mobile Park. And as of now, they have a slight lead, but they're counting the absentee ballots. And believe it or not, Washington State used to be an in-person voting place unless you applied for absentee voting. And absentee voting is basically what everyone is doing now, the mail-in voting system. So very interesting time back then. And from what I heard, the ballots that were not counted were in areas where, let's just say, people don't want to pay taxes. I'll just give you that. But they covered all of Seattle. They covered King County, but it was anywhere but King County, I guess, that was still awaiting to be counted. So I guess if you were in an area where you weren't exactly connected to Mariners baseball, I guess you just weren't incentivized to vote for it. So, but anyways, that was the timing where they were fighting for that division, and it would have been 19 years where the Mariners did not even make the playoffs. Like, this would be the first time they made the playoffs, but I'm going to say no more. And before we jump onto this time machine, you see that green banner? I am trying to get to spring training to join Trident Podcast to do a podcast before a Mariners game on March 15th. So there's the QR code, the link to the GoFundMe. Donate as much as you want or as little as you want. And the reason why I'm using GoFundMe is in case if I cancel the trip, you will be refunded. So I'm not one of those scammers that's just putting money in the pocket in case it doesn't happen, because I am not that kind of guy. And that would be, honestly, it would take a lot more courage to pocket money than to give the money back.
It would be very bold.
It would be very bold, and I think, but ironically, I might get attention for that, but I don't want that kind of attention anyway.
I don't blame you.
All right. And before we get started, even Trident Podcast had a message for you, and I'll play that in the middle of the game because I think I've said enough about talking about spring training, trying to get me there. But it is a goal that I have, and this is the first step for it. And now let's jump into that time machine to go back to September 20th, 1995. And here we are to September 20th, 1995, and I've already said what's going on, but the Seattle Mariners are going to be playing against the Texas Rangers. The starting pitchers for today is Andy Benes, who was the trade acquisition, one of the key pieces the Mariners got to bolster their starting rotation to complement Randy Johnson. He is actually at 5-1 as a Mariner. His ERA was like around 6, but the flip side is the Mariners offense explodes when he pitches. So I guess he is some kind of, I guess, good luck charm. And the other guy for Texas Rangers is Bob Toolsbury. I can't even say his name.
Bob Tewksbury, isn't it? Yeah.
Bob Tewksbury. Yeah, that's who he is, about a 34-year-old guy. And Mariners right now are at 71-63, while the Texas Rangers are at 68-67. And other things that are going on right now, the Oakland A's just defeated the California Angels 9-6. And this was contributed by Mark McGwire, hit his 34th home run. So thank you, Big Mac, for hitting that home run. I'm looking at the lineup too. It was also supported by the likes of Scott Brocious, Geronimo Baroa, Brent Gates, a young Jason Giambi, former World Series MVP Terry Steinbach, and Stan Javier, and also the closer, Dennis Eckersley. Now, Jay Trident Podcast, how do you feel about a Texas Rangers lineup that is filled with Mark McLemore, Will Clark, Mickey Tettleton, Juan Gonzalez, Pudge Rodriguez, and Rusty Greer?
Honestly, it's actually fun. Every time I go back and watch one of these games, just amazes me how great offenses were back then. And I know there was some guys juicing and stuff like that, so we can take that into consideration. But man, that's a pretty loaded lineup. You don't see lineups like that anymore. And that probably wasn't even, I don't know where the Rangers ranked in offense at 95, to be perfectly honest, but it's just crazy. Even the Mariners lineup, I'm sure it's got some star power in it. So hopefully Bennis can, keep him in check, maybe a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and the offense can carry the Mariners to victory.
Yeah, just explode. And what a season it has been for the Mariners, where it's been a roller coaster of a ride. Mariners had just gotten Ken Griffey Jr. back in August. He hit that amazing home run on August 24th, where Dave Niehaus said, where it all began. And they have been making this insane run since. They are on the verge of possibly sweeping the Texas Rangers. And before I hit the play button, and for all Mariners fans that are tuned into this, go to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And you know what? I'm probably it's a good idea to even provide the link for the game. And I probably should have done that while promoting it. But here it is. I'm going to provide the link so everyone gets to it. I'll give everyone some time before we start this game. But around the news, I've heard there's some exciting movies coming up in late 1995. We've got this movie called Toy Story. It's about animating toys. And James Bond is finally making a return. The actor is Pierce Brosnan. He's taking over for Timothy Dalton. So not only is there baseball to look forward to, hopefully some October baseball, but also 2 possible good movies coming out. It's called James Bond GoldenEye, and Toy Story was also one of the characters, I guess the cowboy Woody, played by Tom Hanks, who was also in Forrest Gump. And in Forrest Gump, Jenny was the antagonist.
And I think Batman Forever comes out this year as well. I don't know if it's already been out.
Batman Forever. Yeah, that movie. Yeah.
I think it came out in the summer. So I think we already saw it.
And also rest in peace to Eazy-E, one of the rappers of NWA. He had just passed away due to, he collapsed, unfortunately. Sad. Had to just throw that in there. But head over to 245, and once we are ready, and Jay Trident, you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, and Dennis Erickson, Seahawks head coach. Hope he does well.
Oh, yeah, Dennis Erickson. Is he taking over for Tom Flores? And let's hope that Rick Meyer, hopefully he takes his game to the next level. We can just go on and on. But let's hit the play button. In 3, 2, 1. They're showing the starting lineups is Nixon, McLemore, Will Clark, Juan Gonzalez, Mickey Tettleton, Pudge Rodriguez, the great catcher, Rusty Greer, I can't say that guy's name, and Gill. But whatever that third base's name, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. So my apologies.
Pagliarulo? Something
like that. And there's Andy Bennis in 9 starts, 5-1 with a 5.89 ERA, but the team makes up for it with run support. So again, I guess that is a good luck charm. 39 strikeouts to a 29 walk split. And if you're a Seattle Mariners pitcher and you're doing that in 2024, you are definitely not even on the team. I don't even think you make the minor league baseball team if you're putting up those kind of splits.
No, that's terrible. But 95 different eras, so
Much different era. I think it was much more fun era. And here is the defense. Left field, Vince Coleman, Ken Griffey Jr. Center field, Jay Buhner. Then the infield, Mike Blowers, Luis Sojo, Joey Cora, Tino Martinez, Andy Bennis, and Dan Wilson. And also Mike Blowers, in your future, you would have had retired today from your broadcasting work. So once you get to broadcasting work, best of luck, and you'll meet the great likes of Dave Sims, Rick Riz, and Dave Niehaus. So something to consider for your future.
And there's Darren Bragg in the dugout. I wonder if they'll trade him for a pitcher or anything at some point.
I don't know. I wouldn't. It probably wouldn't even be a good pitcher with knowing who Darren Bragg is. And now they're starting to get to the lineup. And be warned, everyone, there might be times where I might fast forward a little bit because they didn't have the pitch clock. So I want to respect everyone's time, I guess. And now here's Otis Nixon, the leadoff hitter. He's batting 290. We don't even see that in today's day anymore, today's baseball. When you're batting 290, you're practically a god. And now the first pitch from Andy Bennis, and that is missing it for a ball. We're looking at the 1-0 count. We got, I forgot his name already.
Nixon. Otis Nixon.
And now a swing and a miss, strike one. And if you remember Andy Bennis, he was the National League's leader in strikeouts in the 94 season, which was tragically cut short. Man, I feel for those Expos fans that didn't get to see a World Series potential run. Now here's the 1-1, and that is popped up and fouled. Feels different to watch a game in the Kingdom than it does in T-Mobile Park, because I grew up more with T-Mobile, obviously, than the Kingdom. Johnny Oates, the Rangers manager, he's a good manager for the Texas Rangers. He will hopefully
There's a baseball guy.
He's a baseball guy. There's the pitch, and that is a swing and a foul ball. Pretty ugly swing, shall I say. We're looking at the 1-2 count.
Nixon definitely has that kind of open swings and opens up to the other side a little bit, kind of a funky swing, but good career.
Yeah, and now here's 1-2. And now here's a line drive, and that is going to, I think that drops in for a base hit. Yep, it did drop in for a base hit. Man, that TV quality is just so old. That classic 90s feeling.
That's right. This is how we watched it.
It was much better back then, but this thing's off of a VHS, which obviously probably has its age.
Yeah.
We got next batter up to the plate, and his name is Mark McLemore, who plays for the Texas Rangers, one of the more fast players, 354 on base percentage, 269. We actually surprisingly still see that in Major League Baseball. You're actually considered and we got to throw to second base and picked off, and I think he's out. Yep, he is out of there. Nice heads up play. I think that was by Tino Martinez who sensed the pickoff.
Good start. It's one way to keep a good base runner off the base pass, and Otis Nixon. Nice quick move by Bennis.
He sensed it, and he threw it to Tino Martinez. He nearly let it through him, and he threw it to Luis Sojo to tag him out, the shortstop for the Seattle Mariners. Here's Mark McLemore, and that is outside for a ball.
Would love to see the Mariners get McLemore one day.
Man, you're just talking so much into the future. 1-0, and now the pitch. And that is a strike, 1-1. As much as we are nervously looking at this scoreboard, we're also nervously looking through the ballots, which we won't even know until tomorrow because social media wasn't even a thing. Now there's the pitch, and that is a strike. And obviously you can tell that Jay Trident Podcast, well, he is back once again.
Hit the wrong button. Sorry.
I think we're on dial-up. That's what it is. And I don't even think dial-up even exists. Now the pitch.
I know. And this is great quality for 95.
Yeah, this would be we'd be ahead of the time.
I know.
In head-to-head, Mariners are 7-1 against the Texas Rangers.
Wow.
They are literally feasting on them throughout this season.
It's wild. If you make that even, Texas is right in the thick of this race.
They would be. Now the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. It's crazy to think that with the pitch clock, this inning would probably be over by now. which is why I kind of want to fast forward through it. And now here's the pitch. And that is a foul ball, strike 2.
What is this pitch clock tomfoolery you're talking about?
Well, the pitch clock means
this is 95.
I think from what I heard, you have 24 seconds.
Oh, so it's like a shot clock
15?
in basketball.
Yeah, it's just like shot clock. And we're looking at 2-2. And now the pitch. And strike 3 called, and down goes McLemore, and that's going to be 2 outs for the Texas Rangers. Andy Bennis is off to a pretty decent start. He's got a strikeout. And now we got the third batter up to the bat. I think that's Will Clark that's going to be up to the bat. Mariners. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's funny. This is, a time, I'm sure you remember, when there was a big difference between AL and NL umpires too. That was a thing. Like an AL umpiring crew, an NL umpiring crew. You had different guys for the league. So, now it's all the same. But back then there was difference.
Didn't know that. Will Clark batting .294, 13 home runs and 84 RBIs. Someone of the 2024 or 25 Mariners could use that.
We'll see. Maybe in 30 years, who knows what will happen.
1-1, and that's gonna be low for a ball. I mean, the only thing we're thinking about is hoping that the Mariners Seattle just keeps their team, because there's just too much at stake right now, which is why Mariners have to win a division. Like Jay Buhner said, no way, we are winning the division, not the wild card.
And I got a question for you after this at bat.
1, and that is a ball. And might as well ask the question.
What do you think of this catcher for the Cubs? I think he's on the Cubs. Scott Service. What's your thoughts on him? You think he's going to be a good manager in the future?
Who? Never heard of him before.
I didn't know if he was in the league in 95, honestly.
3-1, and here's the pitch. And that's foul ball for Will Clark. That is strike 2. Well, there's also this new console called the PlayStation that is coming out real soon. I think it's already came out by now. They tried to do something with Nintendo. Nintendo was like, no, bye. And so we're looking at the 3-2 and the 3-2 pitch. And ball 4, take your base. And
good take.
Something that plate discipline that is seen. It's not like maybe will plate discipline keep going. I don't know.
We'll see if someone writes a book about it.
Juan Gonzalez is the next big guy, and he is a big slugger, but he's kind of had a down year due to injuries. I've looked up his stats. He's played a little bit less games than he would normally. He only played. He's maybe going to approach 90 games played. But Juan Gonzalez up to the plate and the pitch, and that is slightly outside for a ball. Juan Gonzalez, 291, 594 on base percentage with 25 home runs.
I wonder if someone's going to sign him to a big contract one day, and it's going to be a mess.
One day. The pitch, low for a ball, and Bennis is actually struggling this inning. I said he was actually doing okay, and now all of a sudden it's like he walks Will Clark. So what's next after that? I don't know. As we're looking at the 2-0. And Jay Trident, have you played this game called Doom? It's this really cool first-person shooting game. And the pitch. And here's a fly ball to deep right center field, but Jay Buhner is there, and he makes the catch. And that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on. And the Mariners are going to go into the bottom of the first inning, which we are already here. So maybe
no commercials. Whoa, what's going on here?
No commercials. So maybe without the lack of pitch clock, also the lack of commercials also makes up for it. So basically it offsets. Now the starting lineups: Vince Coleman, Joey Cora, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Tino Martinez, Jay Buhner, Mike Flowers, I already said Joey Cora, and then Dan Wilson.
Soho, I think it was Soho.
Luis Soho, that's right. When I was a kid, I thought his name was Luis Sojo.
Sojo Mojo.
Sojo? No, it's Soto Mojo. And now here's Vince Coleman. Now here is the pitch. Check swing. No, that was a foul ball. Strike 1. Oh, that is nostalgic. 206, 622 hits. nothing nostalgic about that.
I mean, even Vince Coleman, 283, 342 on base. I mean, nobody hits, like this anymore. I mean, and Coleman was just kind of a dude.
Yeah, it was. Now he takes time. I think there might be someone that calls for time when the pitch is already pitched. We might see that in 24. He plays for I think he'll play for the Seattle Mariners, and he might cause a double play. And it might happen against the Yankees to make it more humiliating.
There we go.
And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. And Vince Coleman is going to second base, and the throw to second, and not in time. And the speed of Vince Coleman. That's why the Mariners traded for him. And thank goodness they traded almost nothing for him to get Vince Coleman. He has been paying huge dividends for the Seattle Mariners, but because before Vince Coleman, it was either Joey Cora or Darren Bragg as the leadoff guy. But Vince Coleman has been a clear upgrade. And just remember, he steals a lot of bases. I'll tell you that.
What did they trade for Vince Coleman? I honestly don't even.
It was like some no-name prospect. I can look it up.
I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic, like there was someone big or not, if it wasn't true, like they really didn't give anybody up for him.
I'm checking, and we've got Joey Cora up to the plate. It was Jim Converse. He was actually a player to be named later.
Good deal for them.
Yeah, it was a great deal. And even without a hindsight, he was a struggling, failed bullpen pitcher and a failed starter.
I mean, even like Joey Cora here, 301. And it's like, I mean, how many 300 hitters were in baseball last year?
Not much.
Like two or three.
Here is a ground ball right to second baseman. That's McLemore, throw to first, but Vince Coleman advances to third base. And now we've got Ken Griffey Jr. And I would think that the crowd is going to be a little bit louder for Griffey. And he has had quite an interesting year. Remember that fly ball that he caught? He busted his wrist, and now he's back on his feet, and he's been contributing. 250, not great, but he has been hitting home runs when he needed to. I mean, to say that the Mariners really needed him back was a huge understatement. So here is Ken Griffey Jr., arguably the best player in Major League Baseball. Now he's on this lineup. And now the pitch, and now ground ball foul. Around the league, Minnesota Twins are tied at 4-4. Chicago Cubs against the Cleveland Indians, New York Yankees, and the Toronto Blue Jays. And they just really go through the score really fast. Oh, Oakland A's defeated the California Angels 9-6. Let's keep it going.
Milwaukee in the American League. I always forget about that.
Oh, yeah. St. Louis before Mark McGwire.
Yep.
New York Mets.
Yep.
And now here's Ken Griffey Jr., the pitch, and that is inside for a ball. Ball one. Now they're talking about National League. Oh, highlights on ESPN2. That's nostalgic. I don't even think they even do ESPN2 anymore. And here is the pitch to Ken Griffey Jr. And now here's a fly ball, and that is hooking foul. And look at those big outfield walls in right field.
I know. And the dugouts.
Oh, the dugout. Astro. Man, this place was a death trap.
Yeah, it was. The Kingdome was a dump. Like, it was our dump. I love the Kingdome. Don't get me wrong, but man, that place was. It was like all like that, just concrete everywhere.
And a foul ball. Yeah, it was concrete. And if you remember last year, tiles fell before the Mariners Baltimore game. And unfortunately, while they were fixing the roof, 2 lives were tragically taken when they were trying to fix the roof. I couldn't even imagine. Like, I couldn't even imagine what it would have been like to work in a stadium where it's all just dead silent. And next thing you know, someone just dies.
Yeah.
1-2 in the pitch. And it's a ball 2-2-2. And against the Rangers, Ken Griffey Jr. absolutely feasts this team. 315 with 21 home runs. He's an absolute nightmare against the Texas Rangers. As we're looking at the 2-2 and the pitch. And the curveball, that's going to be foul ball, and he is really fighting it.
Yeah, some awkward swings there from Junior. That one just kind of rolled over it. He did have that one. He's out in front of it a little bit, but hit it pretty well. So we'll see if Junior can just get the run in and get the Mariners in an early lead.
Yeah, we really need it badly. And plus, maybe it will influence some of those absentee voters to actually vote for the stadium. The pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field. And that is gone. That was gone in a laser. And that is a home run, a 2-run home run for Ken Griffey Jr. Mariners take the lead to make it 2-0. And if I'm the California Angels, I'm thinking, oh, crap. So the Mariners take I lied. It's a 1-0 lead.
No, it's 2 because Coleman
2-0 lead. Yeah,
yeah.
2-0 lead. Yeah, ESPN. Yeah, good job. That might foresee their incompetence for the future. Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. hits the home run. The crowd is right after it. It's giving the high fives. I mean, take me to that swing. Like, that was just a swing of beauty that we all take for granted.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better swing in baseball. I mean, left-handed swings are always a little prettier, in my opinion. And I mean, there's nothing better than watching Junior hit one out.
Yeah, it's always a beautiful thing. It's almost like you're watching a movie when you're watching him hit a home run. Now the pitch, and now here's a line drive, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Didn't even talk about Edgar Martinez, and the Mariners are just going right after it.
And then you got Tino on deck. This lineup keeps coming, right? Junior goes deep. Then you got Edgar right after him, and then Tino, and you got Jay and Mike Blowers in there. That was a good swing. That was not like a terrible pitch. I mean, I'm not a pitching expert, but it wasn't like Junior had to get his hands in there a little bit and turned on it.
He really did. That's his 14th home run of the year. And now we've got Tino Martinez. He has been one of the top first basemen. Heard he lost like 10 or so pounds, according to Lou Piniella. So this has been absolutely his all-star year. He's been taking some time to figure it out. Look at that. 297, 29 homers, 102 RBIs. So when Ken Griffey Jr. was not the guy, this is the guy, Tino Martinez. And hopefully he'll be a first baseman for the future for this team, especially if this team stays in Seattle. 2-0, and here's the pitch. And that's a strike, and I question that call. 0-2. We kind of need that little box thing so we can at least have an opinion for ourselves.
You know what, though? In some regards, though, I kind of don't. I'm glad there's no box. I don't have to second guess it. It is what they call it.
I guess, yeah, the 0-2, and that is low for a ball. It's crazy to think we're still in this first inning. That's what the lack of pitch clock really does.
It's funny. Anytime I watch these old games, I'm like, and not only was no pitch clock, offense just so much better. I'm like, I'm surprised there weren't like 6-hour games back then.
Yeah. And now they're like 2-hour games. And now here's a ground ball right to third base. Throw to second, throw to first. Not in time as Tino Martinez gets to first base with a choice.
I don't think he stepped on the bag at second. I think that was a phantom out there. I don't think his foot was anywhere near.
Yeah,
the bag on the.
Yeah, each out's critical because Mariners need every bit of opportunity to catch up to the California Angels, and that Angels team is pretty loaded. They got the likes of Tim Salmon, Garrett Anderson. They have this guy named Troy Gloss. I think he's hanging in the minor league system. I don't know.
Rex Hudler.
Rex Hudler. Here's Jay Buhner up to the plate, and the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Jay Buhner. Believe it or not, he actually nearly left the team to Baltimore, and at the 11th hour, the Mariners came in with a deal. 35 home runs. He's the third in AL and RBIs. The pitch. Now here's a ground ball right. Oh, and it gets right by, and there's going to be no play, and I think that is a base hit because that was just hit so violently. And now we got a man on first and second base. Just look at that lineup. You go to Griffey, then you go to Edgar, and then you go to Tino, and then Jay Buhner, and then just for craps and giggles, you've got what?
Yeah, blow up next, Mike Blowers.
Mike Blowers?
Well, I mean, Jay Buhner, third in the league in RBIs, is hitting sixth. I mean, if Jay Buhner was putting up those numbers in 2025, dude would be MVP of the league. Not even a question. And he's hitting sixth in this lineup.
Imagine if he was. Imagine if he had that. If he was able to maintain that sad thing is, I don't even know if he'd even maintain that batting average though against these pitchers. I don't know.
Mike Blauer's hitting 256. It's like the lowest batting average that you see in
Yeah, and
95.
just in 2025, that's your good to average hitter.
Oh, that would have led the Mariners. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it would have. And now here's ground ball. Oh, it gets on, but no play. Mariners
Another
now
infield
have
hit.
the bases loaded, and I wonder who is up to the plate. It's going to
Soho?
be Luis Sojo, who has also been a heavy contributor for this Mariners team on the shortstop, especially considering the Mariners lost, what's his name? Omar
Felix
Vizquel.
Fermin. Oh, yeah, and then Felix Fermin or whatever, wasn't he? He was the opening day shortstop. I don't know where he went.
Yeah. Omar Vizquel went to the Indians.
Cleveland. Yeah.
He went to Cleveland.
This will be the most important at bat Soho has with the bases loaded all season.
It does.
No, he will not have a bigger at bat with the bases loaded.
No, not at all. It ain't happening. He's got to capitalize on this. And now I got the pitching coach coming out along with Pudge Rodriguez to basically talk to this guy and be like, yeah, you're basically effed.
It's got to be like 25 pitches here.
Yeah, we're still in the first inning. I think in 25, we're like in the third inning by now.
Probably at least like bottom of the second. Probably at the very least.
I could see why viewership slightly had an uptick just because it accommodated for all of the ones that have like no attention span.
Yeah, it is. Even for me, like it's like, woof, these games are that's
it's
a
just
ball.
Swooping by fast.
Yeah.
So it's good for my YouTube channel. It's great, so it won't be as exhausting.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like the spirit of baseball kind of, it's just not the same. Now the pitch to Soho, and that is a ball. Oh, and Daniel Barry, didn't want to forget you. So it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Member for 8 months. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Maybe his contributions will help me get to that trip. And now here's a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. At least one run's going to score. That is Tino Martinez going to score. And Jay Buhner scores, and the Mariners will make it a 4-0 lead on a 2-out RBI single by Luis Sojo.
Mariners make them pay. A couple infield hits there, and they end up capitalizing on it. Nice to see a team taking advantage of those situations and an offense taking advantage of those situations.
Yeah, it seems that maybe they did get that message of like, hey, let's convince those absentee voters of anywhere that's not King County, Pierce, and Snohomish. Let's get those people to vote for a new stadium. Now the question is, how are we going to pay for it, though? That's the question.
Yeah. Hey, put the ball in play. Good things can happen.
And now we got Dan the Man Wilson. And now here's the pitch. Oh, and that is a ball. And what I've noticed about Dan Wilson, great catcher, great defense. But the other thing that we've seen is how he communicates and connects with the pitchers. It seems that this guy might have leadership potential in the future. I don't know.
I agree.
And that is a strike. He's actually been one of the quiet leaders of this team. Like when you think of the Mariners, you think of Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson, but must not forget Dan the Man Wilson.
Rangers already with action in the bullpen.
Already action in the bullpen, right? And we've got outside for 2-1s. And Dan Wilson's being patient at the plate. He's batting .275. Something that I'm not used to with Dan Wilson. And now the 2-1 pitch. And now here's a fly ball, more like a pop-up. And that should be playable. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. But Mariners came up with 4 runs on a 2-run home run by Ken Griffey Jr. and a 2-run RBI single by Luis Sojo.
Good inning. I will take a 4-run inning. Now, with the offenses being up, in 95, it doesn't go as far as it maybe would today, but it's good to see.
And now we are back from the break already. I guess commercials was not even a thing back then.
Yeah.
Jokes aside,
I know that's not true.
Jokes aside, this guy just put it on VCR. He skips the commercial. I was actually old enough to actually... Hold on. Skip to 28:40. Everyone skip to 28:40 because they're doing too much talking. And then let me know when you're at 28:40.
I am there.
Play. And now we
Got it.
are back from the break, and we got Mickey Tettleton, 223 with a 464, 26 RBIs, or 26 home runs. And even then, the Mariners could still use that kind of hitter, which is really sad to say.
I mean, if you're hitting like here's the thing though, it's like 26 homers. So, making up for it, I can live with lower batting averages, but it's like you just don't see anybody hitting consistently in the 300s anymore. It's
Really
one. No, I mean, if you're hitting 300, you are like, and look, 98 walks for Tettleton as well. So he's getting on base along with that average. So kind of a modern day player a little bit.
Yeah, someone can make up for it.
He's got a big wad of chewing tobacco in there too.
Yeah, have you heard that story from Sean Marseille from like 1980 something?
I don't think so.
He was a great track runner. I think he had aspirations to run for the Olympics for the United States. And just a year after he won his gold medal in high school, his life was taken away because he had these chewing tobacco problems.
Oh.
That just scares me. And look at that. It's just so puffy.
I know.
Man, tobacco was a huge thing back then. And now in baseball, I don't even think you even see that anymore. I think now we're seeing just players with weed, but no one really wants to admit that.
Yeah, or in the dugouts, it's chewing gum and stuff. You don't see a lot of dip anymore.
No. Luckily, I've never encountered with any of that, and I'm not even a drinker, so the only thing I got to worry about is avoiding sugar as much as possible.
There you go. I've done it. I don't want to turn your channel into like get it taken down here for talking about that stuff, but yeah, I've done it a few times.
I didn't hear it.
Don't swallow it. Don't swallow it. If any of you ever do it, don't swallow it.
This might be good for the channel because
it's a PSA.
It's a PSA. So be very careful. And now we got Pudge Rodriguez, arguably the best catcher in baseball. Don't mess with this guy. He also caught with Nolan Ryan. So when someone has catch fastballs by Nolan Ryan, don't mess with the Pudge Rodriguez. Just looking at him just scares me.
Man, one of the more, I don't want to maybe say underrated because I think he was appreciated, but I mean, one of the best defensive catchers, and he could swing the bat too.
He did
Great
everything.
Player. Yeah.
And now here's a pop-up, and that's right to center field, Ken Griffey Jr. And he makes the catch. Just like that, even with the fast forwarding, we've only just got to one out because Mickey Tettleton walked.
Still got that. I mean, that cheek is sticking out like this.
Like, I'm showing things, y'all.
That's a big old chunk of jaw.
Y'all.
Bennis has got gum. That's actual gum.
Now the pitch, and that is a strike. Now, where was I? Oh, tomorrow I'll be covering Mariners spring training baseball for 2025. Tune into that. I'll be there at 12. Tomorrow. And in a few days, I'll be subscribing to RoofTopSports again. I feel like I'm selling my soul. And the thing is, I'm not even doing this for myself. I'm doing it for the fans, doing it for the content. It's not even for me. The pitch and a swing and a miss, strike two. Because my twisted thinking, if people are so upset with this insane cable rates and the fact that you pay extra to get RoofTopSports, I'm doing it all for you so you guys don't have to. Plus, people use baseball for background noise anyway. The 1-2. And that is a ball. Like, I use baseball radio for background music, or who knows, maybe I use the Northwest Sports Fanatics if I'm practicing baseball and use as background noise.
Yeah, baseball lends itself to the radio more than, any other sport. So you can still get the feel for it, where football, you kind of got to see it to know what's going on.
Basketball, you really, really got to see it.
Hockey on the radio.
I can't do that. Golf on the radio.
That you could, because it's slow enough that you probably could, do it. That could
And the
actually
pitch,
be okay, I think.
foul ball. Well, as much as we've got Mariners baseball to look forward to, hopefully in October, don't forget about the Seattle Supersonics seasons coming up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Seattle Supersonics of 95-96.
Oh,
Gary
sorry.
Payton, Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf. Hopefully they'll avenge their failures from the last 2 seasons of first round playoff losses. And now here's a ground ball. Oh, bobbled by Joey Cora. The throw to first. And that is in time. 2 outs. Woo!
Phew. Should have been a double play.
Oh, so that's what that 95 logo was about. They were giving honor to the Negro Leagues baseball. That's what that logo was for 95. Makes sense. Pretty nice gesture of Major League Baseball to do that.
And then the Twins and Royals here going
led
to
by
the 10.
Kirby Puckett.
Yep. Now, last season for the Sonics, was that when the Nuggets knocked him out, or was that the Lakers first round? I don't remember.
Of Nick Van Exel, Vladdy Divac. That was a really scrappy team.
I was actually at game 2, I think, of that series.
The beginning of the end.
Yep, and Van Exel just went off on him. I think he had, I don't remember. I mean, as a kid, I thought he did. Maybe he didn't actually go off, but it was at the Tacoma Dome. And then the Lakers won the next 2.
How was the Tacoma Dome experience?
I was so young that it's hard for me to I don't remember anything special about it or not. It just seemed like that's all I knew was the Tacoma Dome for the Sonics. So it seemed perfectly fine, to be honest, as a kid going there. But I didn't know anything else. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying?
Game 2, he went 13 points, so he didn't really do much.
Okay. Wait, did the Lakers win game 2? Was it? I mean, it might not have been game. Okay.
They won by 2 points.
Wasn't it like 113, 111? It was high scoring.
84-82.
Oh. I could not be more off on all this. Maybe that wasn't a game. I don't remember, but I was at one of them. I was at a playoff game.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. We're going to the next inning, and that inning was just a little bit quicker. The high score was Cedric Sabalos. 6 3-pointers.
Dang. Maybe that's what I was thinking went off. It was Sabalos.
Yeah, the journeyman, Sabalos.
Yeah, former Sun.
And how do you feel about Michael Jordan back? Now he's going to be back in full season form with Dennis Rodman. Watch out for that team.
Yeah, if the Sonics can make a run, then now they got to go up against, MJ and the Bulls. Going to make it tougher.
Oh, we got a bunt by Vince Coleman to throw to first.
Foul ball.
Time, but maybe that was a foul. Yeah, it was a foul.
It was.
Great play by Pudge. He was on top of that.
Yeah, you're not going to get many of those past Pudge.
Nope, Pudge is a don't mess with him guy. I mean, just look at the face. Like, he has that face of don't mess with me.
It's crazy. Pudge played until what, 2011?
Yeah, he had longevity.
Yeah. I mean, Pudge played a long time. Great career. There's Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou. I really miss that guy. And here's a fly ball popped up. Oh, drops in, and it gets past. You got to love that.
The Kingdom term.
The bouncy Kingdom term. Advantage. You know what? I really miss the Kingdom. I know that nobody wants to admit it, but
no, I do too.
The Kingdom was awesome. It was just really ugly, but it had a lot of. It was built on the cheap, yes, but it was filled with love in a really weird way.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I even miss the Seahawks in the Kingdom, to be honest. It would be fun seeing them back in the keynotes, but we all want the new stadiums. And, we're like, oh, Lumen, T-Mobile. Now we're like, oh, bring back the Kingdom.
That's how I feel.
I do too. I mean, it's I love T-Mobile's gorgeous. Lumen is gorgeous. I don't pick off, not close.
No.
I don't want it back, but it's there was just something different. Like you said, there was just kind of there was love or something. It was just something special about our dump, the Kingdom.
Maybe someday, maybe just maybe, there'll be a VR program where you could actually put yourself in the game at the Kingdom and pick any game and just watch it. With all the AI technology, anything, something's got to be possible. And And now we got a grounder, and that is going to be Mark McLemore. No, it doesn't make sense. It's a wild throw. It gets through, and Vince Coleman scores, and Joey Cora gets the second base on an error by Mark McLemore, and looks like somebody is down. Mark McLemore. No, it's not Mark McLemore. Someone is down, and that's not good. I mean, something to do with that Kingdome turf.
Is that the pitcher? Was that Tewksbury?
I think so. I think it
he
is
might have gone.
Tewksbury.
Yeah, he probably went over to cover.
But now it is 5-0 Mariners, and they are just absolutely feasting on them.
They are. I will be back in just a couple minutes.
Excellent. And while he's gone, Jay Trident Podcast has a message for me.
What is going on, everybody? Hope you are all doing well. Hey, head over to Rooftop Sports GoFundMe. Let's go ahead and help them out. Try to get down to Peoria for some spring training baseball this year. 1, to enjoy some Mariners baseball, and 2, to experience some amazing Arizona weather this spring. I think I can speak for him when I say the donations, no matter how big or how small, will help him out in his quest to get down here for some spring training baseball. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Go Mariners.
Well, we are back, and I'll just keep it going. And now we've got Dennis Cook on the mound. He is taking over for the pitcher, as looks like he suffered an injury. Dennis Cook, 54 innings in. He is 4-2, hoping that he is going to hopefully keep the Mariners offense sustained, or shall I say, contained, shall I say. And now we got Ken Griffey Jr. up to bat. He is 1-for-1. He's already hit that 2-run home run. He's batting .253 in this season. And now let's see what he can do, as we're looking at a 5-0 lead for the Mariners here in the second innings. Hard to believe that we're all only in the second inning thus far. And time has been called. This is the part where I kind of felt like I took the pitch clock for granted. And in case if you haven't seen it yet, donate to the GoFundMe to help me get to Mariners spring training, which I am aiming to do. And I wonder if I can even pin something. Yep, I'm going to pin the message. That's what I can do. And now here's the 1-0 and the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. That might score in Joey Cora, and Ken Griffey Jr. gets the first base, and Joey Cora will score, and Griffey has extended the lead to make it 6-0, and the Mariners are just continuing to just tear this Rangers team apart. And that was a nice grounder by Ken Griffey Jr. It just went right through. And playing in that turf, it must be very difficult to play in, especially with that bouncy turf, that really tough surface. I don't think my knees would be great for that stadium. Basically playing on concrete ground. Now here's Edgar Martinez. He is 1-for-1 with a single, 353, leads the American League. Might win that batting title. The pitch. And that is a strike. Or that's a ball, 1-0. Mr. Trident, get to 44 minutes approx. We're at 1-0. They just brought in their bullpen pitcher. And Griffey just scored another run. And the pitch. And that's going to be 2-0. The very patient Edgar Martinez takes it for a ball. Jay Trident's been having a pretty bouncy day, I guess. 1992, Edgar Martinez won that batting title, and he's on the verge of winning another one for 95. And now we're looking at the 2-0 pitch. And now here's popped up, and that's not going to get anything done, as Mark McLemore is there. No, it's a shortstop, and he makes the catch, and that's finally going to be 1 out for the Texas Rangers. Oh, there you are.
I'm back. My headphones went out. I just couldn't get it. So I'm like, oh, let's restart. Missed a junior at bat.
Now it's at 45 minutes, and we're at Tino Martinez. He is 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice and scored, batting .296. The pitch. And that is a strike. And let's just hope, because Tino Martinez's contract is coming up soon, let's hope the Mariners extend this guy, because Tino has been a huge part of this 95 team. Without Tino, I don't know where the Mariners would be without him. The 0-1.
I do like Paul Sorrento, I think, is a free agent. Wouldn't be a bad pickup.
No. Tino. Tino Martinez.
David Segui.
Who? Oh, yeah, David Segui. No, I'm a Tino guy. I've kind of grown with this guy. So if it ain't broke, don't fix. And the 0-2.
Oh, they'll fix.
And a strike 3 called, and down goes Tino Martinez, and that's going to be 2 outs.
What do you think about Sterling Hitchcock for Tino Martinez? Would you do that deal?
As much as he has upside, no. We're kind of in this win now mode, and I don't have time for prospects. And don't get me started on Russ Davis. I know he has a huge bat. Now, if the Mariners were rebuilding, oh, sure, let's do that. But right now, no. Hands off, Yankees, get away. And don't upset Griffey, because we all know that Griffey hates the Yankees to the core because of his father's traumatic experience with the Yankees. He hated New York.
Yeah.
So I heard he ghosted the team too.
Yeah.
Dave Winner takes the first strike. It's insane how this game has been going.
Good start, though. 6-0 M's.
Fantastic start. So 2 outs so far, and hopefully they keep that lead. And the 0-1. And now here's a fly ball popped up, and that's going to do it. Center fielder's there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be out number 3. But the Mariners tack on 2 more runs, and hopefully that will convince the absentee voters to vote for this new stadium. Normally, I'm not about this is going to have the sports bias is here. Normally, I'm not about the whole T word thing, but when it comes to stadium, yes, because my life cannot function. I know it's sad to say, but my life isn't the same without sports. Like, sports is part of the reason why I try to stay in shape. It's something to watch. It gives me a YouTube channel. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a very touchy issue.
Hey, a 212 batting average.
And he's still on the baseball team. That's amazing.
No, I'm with you on sport. Like, even I tell people all the time, like, hey, I'm excited for baseball. People are like, oh, I don't know about the Mariners. Like, just not even just the Mariners. I'm just excited. Like, hey, it's a random Tuesday night. There's a Pirates Marlins game on. Something to watch, something to do. Like, sign me up. I miss those nights and afternoons.
Yeah, of course. And here's the 1-1 and the pitch. As much as now, I know that 2025 Mariners, it looks hopeless so far. They made no moves. They basically lost Justin Turner. That was their net loss on Justin Turner. They failed the Luis Castillo trade proposal. But the bottom line is there's still Mariners baseball. It could be worse. It could be worse. We could be NBA fans where we don't even have a basketball team to watch. And to make it worse, the league's not even worth watching anymore. It's just not.
And even within baseball, right? Like, I mean, I would say, at least in the American League, the White Sox are the only team that I think has no shot to compete. I think every other team has some playoff aspiration. Even the A's and Angels, if things break right and Mike Trout stays healthy, I don't think it's like impossible that they could be, the third wild card.
And strike 3, swing and a miss. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's going to be competitive. And my bold prediction is I'm actually going to put the bold prediction that I have the Sacramento A's winning. And the 95 and the Oakland fans, just so you know, don't worry about the next 30 years. You'll be okay. At least you'll have some young players to look forward to as Vince Coleman makes the catch to make it 2 outs already. Now we feel like we're back in the pitch clock era, just the pace of this inning.
Yeah, now it's moving. You're going to have the A's winning the West or just getting in the playoffs?
It's really tough, right? But I at least see playoffs for sure. But best case scenario, I see division because
Wow.
Houston looks absolutely unpredictable. We just don't know. Their outfield depth doesn't look good. And Yordan Alvarez is more of a DH at this point. And I know I shouldn't downplay them, but they're not 22 Astros. I think most would, even Astro fans may agree with that. Yes, they got Christian Walker. Now here's Mark McLemore. And now here's ground ball right to Joey Cora. Nope, gets right through for a base hit. And
We're seeing the Joey Cora deficiencies.
yeah, I heard his defense was only good when it was highlighted, but then this is like the Joey Cora that we probably all remember. His defense wasn't exactly. He was probably a very streaky defender. Oh, look at the concept art of the future stadium for the Mariners, right?
Wow. Nothing
What
like, I guess a little bit of the.
looks more like the modern Marlins Stadium.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks more like the Marlins than it does the Mariners, to be honest.
Yeah,
Literally was the exact thing I was thinking.
Oh, popped up, and this should do it. And Jay Buhner, the bone, is there, and he makes the catch. Now, like, yeah, I was going back, like, no matter how hopeless this Mariners team could be, Jorge Polanco sucks at third base. We all know that. Second base, maybe Cole Young takes it, maybe not. But the bottom line is we still have baseball. It gives us something to do. It gives me a YouTube channel. It gives me Jay Trident podcast. It gives all the content creators an opportunity to talk about it. And we provide a place for Mariner fans to just vent.
And I do think there is hope with this team. It's a great pitching staff. You know, a full season with a Rosarena, and hopefully Robles is the same Robles we saw last year. So I am optimistic, which is, again, part of my such frustration with the offseason is that I do think this team is close, and a couple savvy trades or a couple big moves could have maybe even had me going, I think they're clear division champs. But they didn't do that. Now they're just kind of in the mix, essentially. But I do think the team could win it. I mean, it's not impossible at all.
The one who's really going to carry this team is going to be Kevin Seitzer and Edgar Martinez. They are going to be the real soldiers of this team as we got a strike on Mike Blowers. Like, they're trying to, the Mariners are banking on coaching their way to make their offense a top 15. If they're a top 15, top 10 offense, they can easily break 90 wins without even trying.
And they were with, yeah, they were with Dan and Edgar. In fact, I think they led the league in runs or something when Dan took over. When Dan took over.
Yeah, that's what they're banking on. But I still
small
think it's
sample
too much to bank on. And I
small sample,
and that is a base hit. Yeah, small sample. Mike Blowers gets the first base on a
single. There we go.
Kind of a fitting timing that we're doing a 95 game on the day that Mike Blowers was announced that he is no longer part of the crew.
That's sad.
Maybe I should have done a grand slam. I should have saw if there's a grand slam home run game of Mike Blowers, but I don't think there was. Hindsight's 2020.
North Carolina, Louisville tomorrow, 5 p.m. Gonna watch that football game?
No, I thought they were more about basketball. Those two teams are more about basketball.
North Carolina did have some really good football years. I don't remember, though, 95 was one of them. They had some pretty decent football teams. But, yeah, those are definitely your more basketball schools.
Oh, and the fly ball to deep left field. And that is gone. That is out of there. And another home run for the Mariners. That is Luis Soho. And that came out of nowhere to make it 8-0 Seattle. What a blast.
Man, Luis Soho hitting home runs. This lineup just loaded 8-0. There's that McDonald's banner.
Oh, that iconic McDonald's banner. Man, Big Mac for around, what, $2 back then? Can we go back? Like, can this? No. I wish this time machine I was using on StreamYard actually worked to go to McDonald's when their Big Mac was actually good. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't even have a Big Mac till 2010, so I still don't know the full potential of a Big Mac.
It was bigger. It was bigger in 95. Maybe I was just smaller, but it seemed bigger.
The Big Mac was basically, it's basically two McDoubles put together. It's not that, it's really sad to look at.
Yeah, it's, I mean, every now and then I get one. Every now and then I've got a Big Mac craving, but
But you know, McDonald's doesn't fill you anymore. It just makes just increases your cravings to buy more. Ugh.
I just get lethargic if I eat it. I'm just like bloated and
Basically you get lethargic for no reason.
Mhm.
And it takes even longer to lose that weight. At least if you go to some small business place because they're using real stuff, you can easily burn that off.
Yeah, exactly.
And your cravings will actually be contained.
Agreed.
We're looking at 8-0. It's almost like I'm tempted to just fast forward to the next time they just score because look at this third inning. And we've been here for an hour.
Dan the man.
Showing Edgar Martinez.
Well, if you look at the game, I mean, it's no commercials. It's almost 3 hours, and that's with no commercials.
This game is we're about an hour and 43 away from completion, unless I just fast forward this thing, and we're looking at 1 and 2 in the pitch. And now here's a line drive base hit to right field as Dan Wilson will get on base with an no out single. And Cook is being absolutely.
Oh, there's still no outs.
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow!
This is how much
we're just not used to this.
For granted.
Really did. I mean, again, we were kids, so we couldn't. Ooh, Rockies Padres update.
Tony Gwynn was much lighter back then.
Yeah, he was thin. Wow, thinner.
Well, he was certainly thin in his rookie years. As you know, what I am fast forwarding a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm fast forwarding it, and now they finally just get in that first pitch. I'm at 57-55 as we got Vince Coleman up to plate. Now the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. And just remember, tomorrow I will be covering the first spring training game for the Mariners and also donate to my GoFundMe page. The goal is $1,600. I don't need all of it, but if you can give me that, I'll love you guys, even the haters. The pitch. Especially the hater that said, why are you asking people for your vacation fund? That is not a good look. I'm like, am I forcing you to do it? Did I put something in your head? No.
Maybe he donated. Maybe he sent $1.
He didn't. I wish he did. That'd been funny if he did. The 1-1 and strike 2.
Ooh. Now, we just saw that Rockies Padres highlight. The Rockies made the playoffs in '95, didn't they?
They did with Larry Walker. And
the Braves knocked him out.
The Rockies took away Larry Walker from the Expos because the Expos got cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a loaded team.
I want to say the playoffs was Rockies, Braves, Dodgers, Reds in the NL.
Oh, yeah, that sounds accurate.
And in the AL, it was Mariners, Yankees,
Boston and Cleveland.
Was it Boston? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Boston or Minnesota or something. I couldn't remember the fourth team.
Then it was Yankees and Mariners, of course.
Yeah, then Mariners, Cleveland, and then Cincinnati and Atlanta in the NLCS. Crazy that the World Series could have been Mariners and Reds in '95.
I actually could have Lou Piniella versus his old team.
Yeah.
2-2.
Or we could have had the All Ohio World Series.
Yeah, Reds and Indians.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're and that name Indians, that's so iconic. How would they change that in the future? Do you think there's any speculation that they'll change that name?
I don't know, that movie Major League. You can't change it when you have that movie.
You just can't do it. I mean, who's gonna be against that? I don't know. And we're looking at 2-2. 8-0 Mariners. I mean, look at this no pitch clock. This guy's taking forever to pitch.
There's still no outs. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, obviously at the time I'd be into it because the Mariners are kicking butt, and my parents usually let me stay up and finish these games. So honestly, I loved it. Like, yeah, keep it going.
You know what makes the pitch clock weird? When it's June 20th, it's bottom of the 9th inning, and the sun is still out.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing I saw.
That's crazy. Yeah, the game really moves fast, which I don't like the pitch clock, but for my videos and everything, I do appreciate it because I got to be up early, so it gets the games over.
3-2. And the pitch. And it's a fly ball to right field, and that is foul. Man, what a long game this is. So that lesson is, if I'm doing nostalgic games, I probably should know, like, because the spring training games
2-1 games.
No, the 2-1, 2-1 games probably, or not these blowout games, but it was for 95 Mariners.
Yeah.
3-2. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and
out.
Down goes.
Oh my gosh, and out.
And out. But if we were at the time, we were like, no, Vince Coleman, why'd you strike out?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing at the time. It's, wow, Texas was actually right in the thick of that, in that race in the AL West and the wild card.
If the Mariners win this game, they're tied for the division, which is why this is critical. And they'll have the wild card lead on the New York Yankees by a game.
Yeah, and the Royals were in. I didn't realize that. I for some reason I thought Texas was like buried.
Now the pitch, kind of were, just like Oakland was buried. Joey Cora's up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single, and he scored a run. Current average is 302. He's been a heck of a free agent signing for the Mariners this season. Seems to be the final piece of the puzzle. And now the pitch to Joey Cora, and that is a foul ball. Tomorrow I heard that Jonathan Diaz is pitching, so they're not even really like pitching any of their starters. So it's basically going to be an experiment game. Like, we probably won't even see, the names will probably be unrecognizable. Hopefully,
I know. Dan said none of the big pitchers really until maybe the weekend at the earliest. So, and I think Jesse Hahn, you've got Drew Pomerantz is going to pitch tomorrow. I think Will Klein, that's the only one that might be somewhat interesting because I think he could make the team in the bullpen, but the rest is all, and like you said, the lineup's probably going to be mostly, you might get like JP in there or something, like 1 or 2 starters, but it's probably going to be mostly reserves.
I want Laz Montez and like Cole Young on there. That's what I want to see.
You should see a lot of Cole Young. I think we're going to see a ton of Cole Young this spring.
Maybe he'll pull a 22. That's what I'm hoping. He'll pull a Julio 22.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That would be the Mariners' biggest acquisition, is Cole Young call up, which is pretty sad to say.
I mean, it probably would. To me though, Cole Young doesn't have that Julio upside, like where I don't like. I just see him more as like kind of the steady player, which is good. I mean, you need those guys.
More consistency, because Julio is the streakiest superstar I think the Mariners have ever had.
They just got to hone that in. It's just like everybody slumps, but they've just got to get Julio slumps to not be like, oh my gosh, this guy, like you see him take these swings like this is like the worst hitter in baseball. They just got to hone it in so even his slumps are still a decent baseball player.
The way Julio plays, it's like as if he's a meme stock, where it just pops and then just goes down and then pops.
Well, I thought that hit Joey.
No, it didn't. But it's 3-2. And I'm really taking these pitch clocks for granted. When I did the Mariners game, the Kingdom finale of last year, I skipped a ton because it was just so long.
It really, you forget, like I said, it's like I said, no pitch clock. And then, I mean, that's foul.
Oh, ground ball foul.
But, and then the offenses were so much better. So you had no pitch clock. I mean, like we said, look at this lineup. I mean, the worst batting average guy, I think, is Blowers at like 255.
Yeah, 255 is like our best hitter.
Would have been. I think of all I mean, not counting guys that had like 10 at-bats. Did anybody hit over 255?
Almost none, except Victor Robles, but he only played like maybe half the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'll count him, but yeah.
Now I want to look at the 2024 team. And now the 3-2. And that's a foul ball again.
Like maybe Julio hit like 260, 265. I'm not sure. I'm actually kind of curious now too.
Now I'm going to look it up in the 24 team. Just going through like all these seasons, and they had some of those years were just depressing and just not even. Oh my God, look at these years. All right, 24. Julio was a 273 hitter.
Oh, wow. Okay, a little better than I thought.
Yeah, and like before that, he was like a 250 fringe 250, 240 hitter. And then September happened, 3-2. Ground ball foul. Oh, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I would say I think Julio too, not to rag on him because he finished strong, but that batting average is also like kind of inflated because he was a bit of a singles merchant. Remember he had at the All-Star break, he had like 9 extra base hits all season or something. So he was hitting like 265. But if you're gonna hit like with that little power, you gotta be hitting like 315, 320 to make it to justify it. Now in the second half, he started to show a little bit more.
And now we're looking at 3-2. The pitch. This is taking forever.
How many home runs did Julio hit last year? What was it,
20.
19? 20? He did get to 20. Okay.
328 was Victor Robles. Then after that, Justin Turner. Then Luke Raley, a 243 hitter. Yeah. Randy Rosarena was a 231. Rojas, 225. Ty France, 223. Cal Raleigh, 220. Wow. It's just painful to look at these batting average. 3-2. And it's a foul ball. Joey Cora is really fighting this.
He is. That's just crazy. The batting. I mean, Cal I can live with because he provides enough pop, good defensive player. Like Cal's fine. The rest of them, though, you'd like those all raised. And I get it. Like we've gotten to a point where batting average just isn't valued anymore. I certainly think it's an overrated stat, but it's still putting the ball in play, still is important and everything. So it still matters.
And now finally gets into fair territory. Here's a fly ball, but that's going to be caught. And finally, it's 2 outs for the Texas Rangers. Or for the Seattle Mariners. Dan Wilson still hanging there at first base.
Dodgers beating the Giants 3-0, bottom 4. Was Bonds on the Giants yet, or is he still on the Pirates in 95?
He joined in 93.
Okay.
And Dusty Baker is that manager.
Yeah. Good old Dusty.
Yeah, eventually won a World Series in 22, and Scott Service would actually say, "You're welcome." The Robbie Ray decision. I'm still haunted by that. It's crazy to think that's now like a nostalgic phenomenon now. 22.
Right.
That's just sad.
Oh,
the pitch.
Junior?
And now here's a fly ball to nope.
Thought Junior got into it at first.
I thought
was La Russa still in Oakland in 95, or is he in St. Louis yet?
I think he was a 95. Yeah, let me see. Yep, Tony La Russa, and then he went to the Cardinals in 96.
Okay. Is that Chuck Knobloch for the Twins driving in some runs?
Okay, go to 110. I skipped all the way to 110, and Juan Gonzalez is now up to the plate. Now I'm pitch clocking this game. And the pitch. And that is a ball. That should have been a strike. Hey, look at that. A Mariners group ticket phone number. So they had separate phone numbers. I don't even think extensions was even a thing back then.
No, I think you're right.
The pitch to Juan Gonzalez. And that is a foul ball. 1-2. Juan gone. One of the best hitters in baseball right now. Camera showing Ken Griffey Jr. He hit that home run earlier. And now we're in the 4th inning. Jay Buhner at right field. And the pitch. Oh, and a fly ball to left. Nope. It's just going to go to Vince Coleman. And that's going to be 1 out. Thought that was going to do something.
Looked good off the bat.
It really did. Maybe there's a marine layer in the kingdom still. But that's the crazy thing that even in road games, the Mariners offense still wasn't that much better either. Like they were, but it wasn't really saying that much.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you top it off with their starting pitchers being streaky at best, there was also that. And Mickey Tettleton takes it for a strike. And Munoz had the weirdest splits. Like when he's on the road, he's like anybody else, but then when he's at home, he's nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, it was like 0.4 ERA at home and a 4 ERA on the road. I will say too, like one thing I would like to. Oh, Woody Woodward is speaking
I
during this
wonder what he's
broadcast.
saying.
I know.
Yeah, he's sounding not really saying much.
We're
very
used to that with
nostalgic.
GMs.
Well, Jerry DePoto, he says like
He says too much.
we're doing the fan base a favor. Like for what? 1 and 2. I feel like that he just had a brain fart that day.
It was just like Jerry's one of those people that just when he talks, you know, sometimes you keep talking, you're like, okay, I just got to cut myself off at some point. He doesn't. And then he just takes that one extra step and says something that doesn't need to be said. It's like, Jerry, just, you were good. Could have ended it right there.
Wow, that's Woody Woodward. He looks so youthful.
I know.
Dave Campbell, too. Look how much more youthful he was back then.
Soup. Dave Campbell Soup.
Dave Campbell Soup and Peter Gammons.
Yeah.
I think Harold Reynolds just got his job there.
And the play-by-play is Dwayne Stats, who's the Rays play-by-play guy in television.
Oh, I had no idea. Joey Cora makes the catch, and that's going to be, wow, an easy 1-2-3.
Now the Rangers are starting to give up. They're like, we're down 8-0. Let's just get out of here.
Pretty much. And they go straight into Edgar Martinez.
I miss the old Rangers logo. Not on the hat, but like, logo. Yeah.
I hated it when they ditched the red. When they ditched the red jerseys for a point, I was like, really?
Yeah, they look better. I think they look better back then. I actually like the old ESPN graphic. I think it's just cleaner. You know, there's not too much going on. There's not too much information.
I think that's why people appreciate the Apple one because it's just so clean.
Yeah.
There's just some that just try too much. And the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Woody
still talking to Woody Woodward. He's still yapping.
Cheap viewers on Steam Boo. Yeah, this is who? As we are looking at 2-1. Now the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. 2-2. And just a reminder, tomorrow I will be covering the Mariners game. First day of spring training. And I'm going to try to cover as much as I can before baseball season starts. As we're looking at 3-1 for Edgar Martinez and the pitch. And that is a foul ball, strike 2. Edgar Martinez, I just want to let you know that within 23 years from now, you'll be approached by me, and I'm going to creep you out because I was like, and you're going to be at an electronics store. It's either going to be Circuit City or Best Buy. And you're going to be like, you're asking me a question. I'd be like, wait, are you Edgar Martinez? You were my childhood hero. And then you're smoothly going to walk away. Which actually
little does he know.
Strike 3 called. There he goes. Edgar Martinez, rare strikeout. It's going to be 1 out. Yeah, it wasn't my smoothest moment with an athlete. Usually I'm pretty smooth with them, but then when it was Edgar, like my adrenaline just kicked to like 100.
It's tough. It's, you know, especially when you see him in a setting that's not like, you know, at the ballpark or something where you expect to see him. It's in a different setting. It's I never run. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot of faces anymore. The only one I've come close to is I saw Kyler Murray at the airport once.
Base hit, and that's going to be base hit. Tino Martinez contributing, getting on base, even though the other one was a fielder's choice, which doesn't count towards your on base percentage, but he did make it. Old first base coach Mejias.
What he's still talking? Look at all those wires down there on the TV. Like
look at those XLR cables too.
I know.
The big headset. That thing is even bigger than. Okay, you know what? I'm playing Skippity Doo. Man, that's a lot to skip. All right, it is now at 1:18, an hour and 18.
Got it.
As Jay
Mike
Buhner just fouled
Brandenburg.
these names that are not even used anymore.
Was Jerry
266.
Dipoto in the league in 95?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was on the Rockies.
Oh, hey, Jerry's going to the playoffs.
Now here's a ground ball, and Mark McLemore gets him out in time. It's going to be 2 outs as we are getting close to the 5th inning. So me doing the pitch clock has kind of helped. That's the crazy thing. As nostalgic as we feel about these games, we're still like, It's almost
it's fun to see them, but it's also like the outcome doesn't matter. So it's hard to get like super invested. You know what I mean? Like it's fun, but it's also kind of like it's hard. It's a tough, like I'm not like emotionally invested in it because I know how this season ends, but it's still cool to see like, Flowers and Edgar and Junior and everything like that. So it's just kind of a different feeling.
And that is inside for a ball for Mike Blowers. And a plan that I do have for the 2025 playoffs is if Mariners don't make the playoffs, which unfortunately is very likely, I will cover all the playoff games in nostalgic, like on the day it happens. I know that I'm someone that criticizes nostalgic marketing that the Mariners do, but yet here I am doing exactly what the Mariners marketing does, is reminiscing. But the thing is, the Mariners aren't really giving much to enjoy in the current times. Like in 22, I remember my 2000 Mariners video that I was making. I didn't think that was going to go anywhere because of the hype of the 22 Mariners I thought it was going to be enough for people to forget about the past.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never blame the marketing stuff too much. Like, I get it. Like, there's stuff like, oh, 95, but it's also like, there's just not a lot else in this team's history, and 95 was like special. It wasn't just the first time Mariners made the playoffs. It probably saved baseball in the city. So it's hard to get on them. Like, honestly, I'll blame ownership in the front office before, put a better product so we don't have to keep talking about 95.
Makes you feel bad for Kevin Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It would be like getting on the Seahawks for like, oh man, we're still talking about the 2013 Super Bowl. Well, go win another one, and then we'll talk about that one. Like if the Mariners were making the playoffs, 13 years out of the last 17, we wouldn't. 95 would still be special, I think, but it wouldn't have as much. It
wouldn't have as much significance.
Yeah. So I blame, Stanton
John Stanton, the board members of Howard Lincoln and John Ellis, they're still hanging. So technically, Howard Lincoln has just as much influence as the owner. And what I've learned in corporate business, the board members actually basically do the decision making than the CEO. CEO can't even do anything. It's basically the board members are basically the Senate and the House, and the CEO is the president.
Yeah.
And then no matter how much, like even if sometimes there's something that makes me think that even if John Stanton wanted to spend money, he probably still has to go to the board, and the board's gonna be like, no, can't. Sorry.
Yeah, there's so many layers to it. It's what makes it so frustrating. And it's, like that's kind of where I've been like, people do you think Jerry should be fired? Yeah, like I don't think it's been good enough. But my faith in this ownership group finding somebody else is like zero. So I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of like whatever on it. At least we know what the team's floor is kind of currently. So, but like you said, it's like even if Stanton did, would the board even approve it? Who knows? So it's it's
hour 23. I had to skip a few.
Where are we at?
Hour 23.
Okay.
As Luis Soho is up on the plate, as we're looking at the 1-0 and the pitch. And that is a ball. And this guy has a very small strike zone.
Yeah, it has been.
As we're looking at a 2-0 count. And I feel like the next time I go to a Mariners game is that I think you've already said it on Twitter X that you're planning to go to a game.
Might not be able to now. I'm actually going to a wedding in July, and that might take up the funds to get to that I was going to go to. So it's on the back burner.
You know what? I am gonna do a GoFundMe. Go fund Jay Trident Podcast's tickets.
Or fund the wedding, and then I can pay for that, whichever
Let's do
one.
that. Oh, and here's a line drive, and that is gonna be a base hit. And are they rounding the home? And he does. And Soho's caught in the rundown. And he gets out, but he still scores in another run for the Mariners to make it 9-0 as Tino did score.
13 hits through 4 innings. No, honestly, it's not so much a financial thing. It's just going to be time getting that, because I'm going to have to take like a week in July, and then to turn around in August is going to be really tough. So it's money too. I shouldn't say it's not money. It definitely is, but it's almost more
my Mariners spring training situation is purely money. Like,
yeah.
Like, I am still thinking about just buying the tickets just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And if I get it, if I get to it, great. If not, I'll cancel. I'll do it very humbly, obviously. But it won't be the end of the world. It's just that it would just be I think it'd just be a huge step for my content of actually being out there. I'm like, the show is going to also include bringing in fans to do some Q&A. If anyone wants, I would think they would. I mean, especially when more people know you, they'll recognize you.
No, it'd just be fun. Nice. What
will be the funny thing? What if, as we got a pop-up, what if we all accidentally just crashed into each other? It's like Mojo, Marine Layer, you, Raise the Try. We just happened to be there at one place at one time.
I know a lot of people are going. There's a lot of people that are coming out. So I'm gonna try. I might try to go on Sunday. Actually, I'm thinking about it. I just got to see what the schedule is.
A fly ball to deep right center field, and Griffey catches it, and that's gonna be 1 out.
This will be my last half inning. I gotta get rolling. I didn't realize the game was gonna be this much offense.
Just for you.
I thought we might be in the 6th or 7th. Normally, we probably would be if the Mariners weren't putting up so much runs. We'd probably be in the 6th or 7th by now.
I think we're in maybe the 7th inning. If this game wasn't so much offense heavy, and if there's no pitch clock. But yeah, you're probably right. 6th inning without the pitch clock.
We'd probably be like bottom of the 6th. In modern times with the Mariners offense, we'd probably be heading to the top of the 10th, 0-0.
I remember. So I'll just say this, like an ex-friend of mine, I don't want to get too detailed. I was dragged to watch 50 Shades of Grey. I know. Not proud of it one bit. But there was a scene where this kid asked, "Hey, Dad, did the Mariners win this? How'd the Mariners game go?" It just went to extra innings, and they literally just pointed out like it was a complete punchline joke. And then the woman responds by going, "Oh, Seattle baseball."
There's a few movies the Mariners are referenced in. Oh, we've got NFL Game Day and NFL Prime Time on Sunday with Chris Berman and the gang coming up. See how those.
By the way, that was the highlight of that entire movie was the Mariners punchline joke. Other than that, it's like don't watch. No, don't waste your time with it.
Twilight talks about the Mariners too. They go over to like in the Twilight movie again, a movie I got dragged to. And in the first one, they say something like, "Oh, just getting ready for the Mariners season opener" or something like that. I forgot. It's a throwaway line, but because it takes place in Washington, I guess.
They must have done it as also like a punchline joke.
It really was. There was no like nothing funny about it. I think it was just it was just a filler line or something, because there was no like they didn't make fun of them or anything. It was just I think it took place in Washington and they just mentioned the Mariners.
They did. And honestly, I think this game was just to get a warm up for tomorrow.
There you go. What was that? Did you ever see that movie with Jimmy Fallon where he's like, I forget, and Drew Barrymore, where he's the Red Sox fan and he goes to like, what was that?
Pitch?
I forgot. Is that what that? Yeah, fever pitch. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
That movie came out conveniently right when they broke the curse. Conveniently.
Yeah. Well, that's the ending. They had to change it because they actually won the World Series.
As we're looking at 2-2. Man, I
Popped
think
them up.
maybe some of these days, if I do a nostalgic game, I might just edit it to like literally a pitch clock experience type and the 2-2. And you were right, it was a pop-up.
Oh, my head. Sorry.
And who's gonna do it? That's gonna be Mike Blowers who makes the catch. And again, Mike Blowers, thank you for your service with the Mariners. It is unfortunate that we still didn't see a World Series under Mike Blowers, but enjoy your retirement if that's where you're headed.
Yeah, wish Mike Blowers the best. One of my favorites. Always
And now, yep.
gonna miss. And Kyle Raleigh will do the catching.
Angie Mentic is now going to be the color along with maybe Jay Buhner.
Dave Valley's back. I like Dave Valley.
Dave Valley had a lot of energy when he was a lot younger.
Yeah.
He actually made it more fun. When you had Rick, my favorite combo, I think, was Rick Riz and Dave Valley. Because they were both like basically screaming at the TV. And a line drive, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. And looks like they might actually score this time. Oh, and they are. And the throw to the plate, and that is not in time. And the Texas Rangers now take the lead. No, they just got on the board to make it 9-1.
Otis Nixon, nice job. Just pitch on the outside, goes the other way with it, and good piece of hitting by a good veteran hitter. You might know better than me. How come Rick Riz doesn't do TV anymore? Is there? I know it's been like 15 years since he's done TV, but like, what was the reasoning behind it?
I don't think there was a reason, but I think it's possible that he probably just got tired of it. Maybe.
Gotcha.
But I would think radio would be a lot more work than TV, though.
Almost, because you have to be more descriptive. I wouldn't mind Riz being on TV again. So I just
Riz on TV actually made me want to watch it.
Yeah, he was great.
Like, no hard feelings on Dave Sims, but it just never clicked. Like it just never like. I tried to, and even Goldsmith I tried, but it's not the same without Rick Riz with his high energy.
I do like Goldsmith. Sims, I think, was definitely more of an. I liked Dave Sims because I do feel like he truly. I just want my announcer to have that vibe that I think they do want the team to win, and I always get that from Sims and Goldsmith. I think they are truly into. And if you look around the league, man, there's some awful announcer teams for baseball. So the Mariners are pretty blessed. They actually have a pretty solid crew, in my opinion.
It's something it seems that we take for granted too.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm my own voice anyway.
There you go. Yeah, we got RoofTopSports on it too. So forgot to throw you in there. You're radio and TV.
Well, only can do radio because I don't have the broadcasting right.
You're Vince Scully. You do it all.
Oh yeah, Vince Scully does it alone. He doesn't have a color guy, doesn't he? Or he
no,
didn't.
I mean, no, he didn't. He used to do it, and you wouldn't even notice it. You'd listen. You'd be like, "There's nobody else up there with him," and he would just do it.
No wonder he was so legendary. He did it.
Yeah, he was great. Just that great voice too. Just a calming, great summer voice. To him, Gabe Niehaus, just guys you could listen to all day.
Jack
Some rough
Buck,
tracking on the VHS.
Go crazy. But he will be most remembered for his. Do we play baseball today? Yes, we will play baseball, despite the horrific days of 9/11. As we got a pop fly, and I think that is gonna do it for you, Jay.
I got
podcast.
Hopefully the Mariners hold on and win this one.
Yeah, hopefully they hold on, and hopefully by the end of the show, maybe we'll see some progress for my quest to spring training baseball. Gonna need it. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. Have a good one.
Have a good night. And now he's gone, but it's okay. He's got to get some sleep. And we are going to finish this game. And I'm just going to steamroll this thing because I have to. As we're just going to go to a 1-1 count on Dan Wilson. Yeah, not many people are watching. I mean, not that I'm surprised or anything. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. It's the Mariners turn back the clock. Mariners against the Texas Rangers, 1995. And the pitch. And now here's a fly ball, pop fly, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be one. No, it's a single. I couldn't even tell what was going on. And now we got Dan Wilson on first base. And now we got Vince Coleman who takes it for a strike. And as you can tell, I'm just kind of fast forwarding through this game. And just a reminder, tomorrow I will be covering the Mariners spring training game and also trying to get to spring training baseball. So use that QR code or go to my pinned link to get me on the GoFundMe to get me to spring training baseball of 2025. Something I've been wanting to do for years, but I just never made time for it. I remember I actually had tickets for a game in 2020, but then coronavirus happened, so we canceled. And now we've got a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. It looks like Dan Wilson is racing to third base, and looks like we've got runners on first and third, and Vince Coleman has been absolutely on fire today. And looks like Johnny Oates has seen enough. And now we got a new pitcher. It's going to be a lefty. Just going to go back to that game of September 20th. Chris Howard is now on the mound. Got Vince Coleman. I think it's going to be Joey Cora up to the plate. Yep, it is Joey Cora in the bottom of the fifth. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to left field. And that's going to bring in a run. Tagging at third is Dan Wilson. And the Mariners will make it a 10-1 lead. And what a huge lead that the Mariners have. And Vince... No, I mean, no one's moving, but the Mariners will extend the lead to make it 10-1. And who knows what tomorrow's game is going to be like. And they're going through Ken Griffey Jr.'s home run. And now Ken Griffey Jr. again. Can he extend this lead? And now the pitch. And that is a ball. It was nice to see a Ken Griffey Jr. home run. Never felt so much more nostalgic than ever. Griffey is 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run, along with an RBI single. See, he has heavily contributed. And now here's a ground ball right to McLemore. Throw to second, throw to first. In time for the double play. And that is going to end the inning. But the Mariners get one more to make it 10-1. And excuse me while I go to the bathroom, but please enjoy, in case you haven't seen this message from J Trident Podcast.
What is going on, everybody? Hope you are all doing well. Hey, head over to RoofTopSports GoFundMe. Let's go ahead and help them out. Try to get down to Peoria for some spring training baseball this year. 1, to enjoy some Mariners baseball, and 2, to experience some amazing Arizona weather this spring. I think I can speak for him when I say the donations, no matter how big or how small, will help him out in his quest to get down here for some spring training baseball. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Go Mariners.
And now here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike. I believe this is Will Clark up to the plate. And the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball popped up. Should be playable. Vince Coleman is there. And he makes the catch. And now we've got 1 out so far. If the Mariners win this game, they will be tied for the division on the California Angels. Let's hope that it does happen. And now we got Juan Gonzalez up to the plate. And that's going to be in there for a strike. (10-1) so far. And the pitch to Juan Gonzalez. And that's going to be a foul ball. Thought I'd remind you guys again, trying to get to spring training. Help me get to spring training by going to the GoFundMe. Donate to that one. There's a QR code. And the link is pinned on the chat. Andy Bennis is the pitcher so far, the 0-2. And now here's a fly ball to deep left center field. Griffey is going back, and he makes the catch. Ken Griffey Jr. just took a home run away from Juan Gonzalez, and that's going to be 2 outs. He took a home run away from Juan Gonzalez. What an amazing catch by Ken Griffey Jr. Oh my goodness, you got the fans just bowing to him. You know what? I'm going to do it now too. It looked like that was going to be gone. I was thinking, oh boy, that this has to be gone. And Griffey just made the catch. I got to tell Jay Trident podcast that. And that may have just broken the spirits of the Texas Rangers. And we do see that happen within 4 years, as he also rubbed a home run again from Juan Gonzalez in the 1999 game, the Kingdom finale. Will happen 4 years from now. Griffey with 5 gold gloves. He has just been an absolute defensive stud. 5-tool player, and the fans are still bowing to Ken Griffey Jr. And now we've got an 0-2 count on Mickey Tettleton. He's batting .222. And now the 0-2. And strike 3 called, and down goes Andy Bennis, and that is going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners are up 10-1. And now Griffey, they're showing still Griffey, and they're talking about Mariners sweep. And here's Edgar Martinez up to the plate as we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. And obviously you can tell I'm just trying to steamroll through this game because I just want this thing to end. But if you guys can donate to the link right there, that QR code, I'm pointing to it right there. And we got a ground ball base hit for Edgar Martinez, and that's going to be a base hit. Can't believe I just witnessed a Ken Griffey Jr. catching a home run. Man, this thing's taking forever. And now here's Tino Martinez up to the plate. He's batting 1 for 3. Fielder's choice single and 2 runs scored. Now the pitch. And that is going to miss it for a ball. And the pitch. And that's going to be low. As we're looking at 2-0. And the pitch. And now here's a fly ball right over to center field. And center fielder is there, and he makes the catch. And that's going to be 1 out. Now here's Jay Buhner up the plate. And the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Oh, that's a little bit of a better camera angle right there.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, be quiet, Alexa. Didn't ask you. I think I see Chris Widger. That's as nostalgic as he gets. It's backup catcher for Dan Wilson. As we're looking at a 2-0 count for Jay Buhner. He's ahead of the count. And the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, 3-0. And now the next pitch. And that is ball 4, take your base as Jay Buhner gets on base. Is Johnny Oates. Yep, he's going to pull another pitcher. And this has been a bullpen day. Jose Alberto is now up to the plate. And now we got Mike Blowers, who's on a 1-0 count so far. As yes, I'm fast forwarding through it. Now the pitch. And that is a strike. That's going to be a 1-1 count. And the 1-1. Low for a ball. Two and one for Mike Blowers. This thing's been going for quite a bit. And now the pitch. Ground ball right to the first baseman. Gets it right immediately, but the runner goes to second base. And third is Edgar and Jay Buhner. Second and third. Now here's Luis Sojo up to the plate. Let's see if he can get some more runs for the Mariners. And the pitch. And that is a strike. It's an 0-1 count so far. And the pitch. Wild pitch, but no one's going to move because it didn't go out far enough. Pudge Rodriguez kind of stopped it from making it worse. As Luis Soho is taking a 1-1 count so far, making it a 2-1 because I'm fast forwarding the crap out of this thing. As we're making it 2-1 with 2 outs. And the 2-1 pitch. And that is a foul ball. And again, tomorrow I will be covering this game. I'll be covering the Mariners game for first day of spring training, as that game is going to be on the Mariners stream. So I'm looking forward to it. And we got a 2-2 count so far with 2 outs. As we're looking at 2-2. And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball foul. That very bouncy turf. And the 2-2 pitch. Foul ball for Luis Soho. As we're looking at 2-2 and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitch. And foul ball and Luis Soho. And that is a ground ball right to the shortstop. Throw to first in time. But Soho was really hustling that. Prediction of the season. Mariners will actually finish below 85 wins because you cannot count on... You just can't count on the Mariners starting rotation like actually carrying this team. Like, you just can't. And then, so yeah, you just can't count on it. And their offense is awful. It's going to be. Bullpen, if they're not healthy, then yeah, I could see 84 wins or less. Angels sucking, but they might have some prospects that might do something. Now, here's a fly ball to center field, and Ken Griffey Jr. is there to make the easy catch, and that is going to be an out. Randy Johnson, 15-2, 2.66 ERA, leads the American League. And the pitch. I think this is Rusty Greer, and that is going to be low for a ball. Rusty Greer is 0 for 2 so far. Batting .268 in the pitch. Oh, and a fly ball drilled to right field. Forget about that one. That is a solo home run for Rusty Greer. Puts Texas on the board again to make it 10-2 Seattle. And that was just out of there in a hurry. The homeless A's will be all right. The issue with the Angels is broken. It's like a broken record every year. Yeah, you're right. How do you feel about the Astros? And we got a fly ball popped up. Ken Griffey Jr. makes the catch. The Altuve experiment to outfield. Yeah, that could be a thing. It looks like I got a little bit more people on this show. And if you just came onto this show, J Trident Podcast does have a message for you.
What is going on, everybody? Hope you are all doing well. Hey, head over to RoofTopSports GoFundMe. Let's go ahead and help them out. Try to get down to Peoria for some spring training baseball this year. 1, to enjoy some Mariners baseball, and 2, to experience some amazing Arizona weather this spring. I think I can speak for him when I say the donations, no matter how big or how small, will help him out in his quest to get down here for some spring training baseball. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Go Mariners.
Benji Gill's up to the plate. He's batting 1-1 so far. 1-1 count. And the pitch by Bennis. And now here's a ground ball right to no, it was a line drive right to Soho. And now we are going to go to the 7th inning stretch, and I'll just sing it right now. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they're trying to get their stadium and make the playoffs. 4, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Bill Risley is now warming up in the bullpen. Right behind him is Matt Sinatra, the bullpen coach for the Seattle Mariners. And the pitch to Dan Wilson. And that is going to be that's going to be a strike. It's going to be an 0-1 count. The Rangers, it really depends on their pitching and if they're healthy. Yep, that's very contingent. Yeah, Mike Trout being injured, that's why they're moving in the right field so he doesn't have to cover so much. Mike Trout his career has really fallen apart. Like, he's suffering the Ken Griffey Jr. type of career right now. Because we're looking at the 0-2. He's just, unfortunately, a shell of his former self. And the pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball for Dan Wilson. 1-2. And the pitch. Low for 2-2. Lou Piniella is being shown. And now the 2-2. Swing and a miss right down the middle, strike 3. And that's going to be 1 out already. Vince Coleman's now looking at a 1-0 count so far. Yep, I'm pretty much just skipping right through this game. And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit as Vince Coleman continues to just really hit the ball really well. How has he been doing throughout this game? That is his 4th hit of this game. He is 4 for 5. He's batting .289 this season. Now here's Joey Cora up to the plate. He is 1 for 3. Batting average of .301. And the pitch. And that is a strike. In the 0-1. And that's going to be low for a ball. 1-1. 1-1. And that's going to be a lined foul going into that Mariners bullpen. And Matt Sinatra, I think no, that's not Matt Sinatra. It's somebody else. Joey Cora with a 1-2. And now here's a fly ball popped up to center field, and that's going to be caught. Honestly, Mike Trout should not be ranked 32nd out of 100 this season, as since he has not only had, you're right. And now here's Ken Griffey Jr. up to the bat, and what can he do? He's 2 for 4, a 2-run home run, and an RBI single. He's been heavily contributing. And the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. As we are looking at an 0-1 so far. And now the 0-1. And that's going to be popped up, and that's going to do it for this inning. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. And now we got Bill Risley on the bullpen. It's been one of the tops, and Alex Diaz will take over for Vince Coleman, as this game is pretty much over at this point, unless Texas Rangers does anything of significant insanity. But Bill Risley against Otis Nixon. World Series prediction, I don't really have one. And the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Can't really predict who's going to win, really. It's kind of tough to even look. Let me look at the World Series odds. Like, I don't see the Mariners winning. Astros, not so much. I hate to say it, Josh. I know you're an Astros fan and all. The pitch, that's going to be in there for a strike. You never know about Atlanta. They might do it. I'd always have Atlanta in my radar. And the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Crazy thing is, if I bet $10 or $1 for the Rockies to win the World Series, I would win $500. Insane. I don't know. I think I'm going to say the Braves. You would think that if they're healthy, and that's going to be a base hit to left field to get to second base, or first base. Philadelphia. Seattle Mariners are at a plus 2,200. I find that very shocking. And for division, they have the A's at 2,350. And now here is Mark McLemore up to the plate. And now here's a ground ball right to Joey Cora, throw to first in time. And that's going to be one out. Now here's Will Clark up to the plate, batting 293, 0 for 2. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a foul ball, strike one. And the pitch. And did they go for it? Don't know. As we're looking at the 2-1 and the pitch. Check swing. Yep, he definitely went through that. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike three called, and down he goes. Will Clark goes down in strikes. He didn't seem to agree with it. He seemed to be shocked. And now it is going to be 2 outs. It's crazy that it's going to be back to baseball season. Going to do some play-by-plays once again. We'll see where that goes. As we're looking at an 0-1 for Juan Gonzalez. And in case that you have missed it, Juan Gonzalez got robbed of a home run. Now he's batting 288. He's had an injured-riddled season, probably playing to the part, contributing to why the Texas Rangers have been out of this division race for quite some time. As we're looking at the 0-1, and now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike two. And Bill Risley has been looking really good. And he pops it out. And that's going to go into the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance for the Mariners to tack on more runs. Now here's Edgar Martinez up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. Edgar Martinez is 2 for 4. And now the pitch again. Ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. Talk about Mr. Consistency, Edgar Martinez. And now he has a chance. Mariners still have a chance to get some more runs to put more into this lead over the Texas Rangers. Really excited for tomorrow to cover the spring training game. And also, if you can, donate to that. Go to that QR code and help me get to spring training. Link to donation will be in the description. Now here's Tino Martinez up to the plate and the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And allow me to fix that. I got to put that in the link somewhere. And the 1-0. And that's going to be a ball. So we're looking at a 2-1 for Tino. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Could that be dropping? And that is fouled. And that's going to be popped up again. And that should end the inning. And now here's Jay Buhner up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. And we're looking at the 0-1 so far. And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. And Edgar Martinez will go to second base. So if Houston makes the playoffs, and that happens, while win a World Series would be nice, you'd be satisfied with just a Jose Altuve record-breaking home run. Talk about content. I don't blame you. You guys have had a heck of a run. I got to say that. Now here is Mike Blowers up to the plate as we're looking at 10-2 and the pitch. And that is a foul ball. So we're looking at 1-2 with one out. And the pitch. Here's a ground ball, and that's going to be no double play. But man gets to second. Edgar gets to third base. AL West remaining. They'll go to 3 at Texas, 2 in Seattle, 4 versus Oakland for the Angels. For the Mariners, 3 against Oakland, 2 against California, 4 at Texas. It's going to be a very intense. And now here's Luis Sojo up to the plate. 1 out, so 2 outs. Now here's a ground ball foul as he's already down to 2 strikes. As I'm trying to fast forward, I have Kick Dirt Baseball that is inviting me to his, I guess, Twitter X space show, whatever they call that, the safe space. I don't even know what they call it anymore, but I'm going to join in. So stay tuned. Well, don't stay tuned. Now here's a line drive base hit, and that is going to bring in Edgar Martinez. And the Mariners now make it an 11-2 lead. And this game is pretty much more than just over at this point. And now here's Dan Wilson. He's batting 2 for 4. And now here is the pitch. Outside for a ball. Now here's a fly ball. I'm just fast forwarding it. And that's going to be a fly ball. And he's out of there. Honestly, I'm just going to go to the very last parts of the game where we got Bob Wells as the pitcher. And then now Jeff Nelson is in. Just going to go with the very last batter at this point. And now here's Mark McLemore, and that's going to be swing and a miss, strike 2. And the Mariners are just 1 strike away from tying this division against the California Angels. This game was well contributed by Ken Griffey Jr.'s 2-run home run, Luis Sojo with his 2-run home runs, and hit very well. And here is the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Mariners have won. They have tied for the division lead against the California Angels. Actually, it looks like they have taken the lead on that division. And Andy Bennis, who pitched very well, gave up just 3 runs, while the Mariners offense took care of the rest to make it 11-3 victory. And they will be met by the Oakland A's for the next series. And hopefully the Mariners will keep that momentum going. And now I am back in time. I am actually just going to take off. I got to go on my Twitter X show with Kick Dirt Baseball. If you are wondering who he is, I will give you his profile link. He is hosting a show right now. So head over to that. And everyone, thank you very much and have a fantastic day. Go Mariners and see you tomorrow.